We are here to talk about how do you join cruise ships. Have you ever thought about cruising, traveling while working? If you did, then you're welcome. I did that work for like 7 years, and so we are here to talk about facts, the processes, what is needed, and things like that. Hi, thank you for always following me and watching. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Welcome to another episode of Sip and Share, and today we are sipping. This one is gin lemonade, okay, but this gin is actually very good. It's Amalfi. Amalfi gin is like Italian, very premium gin from the Amalfi coast. This is the pink grape fruit, okay. Then we are mixing with my favorite lemonade and some lemons, okay. That's not the point. While we are here to talk about how do you join cruise ships. Have you ever thought about cruising, traveling while working? If you did, then you're welcome. I did that work for like 7 years, and so we are here to talk about facts, the processes, what is needed, and things like that. So stay tuned. Let's go. But before we start, let's sip a little bit. It's very grapefruity. So you can put a grapefruit if you don't like lemon, or if you can have like a grapefruit within reach. So let's start. Let's say you want to cruise and work on board. You first step, you have to check your knowledge. You have to check your department, like which department do you want to join. Many people don't know where to join or how to join, so you need to check yourself. Where do you want to work? Your skills, your capabilities. Firstly, you have hotel. That's the biggest one and the easiest to join. You have the bar, you have the restaurant, you have the housekeeping, you have the people who do guest service, you have dancers, entertainment, mostly front of the house. Then you have the back of the house, chefs, pastry chefs, utilities who help the chefs and everything like that. And of course you have the engine department, you have the marine engineers, you have the electricians, you have all those people, you have security. Then you have the nautical, you have the people who work on the bridge, who help steer the ship so we can get to where we get safely. Yeah? Up to that, you okay? Okay. So you need to check your skills, you need to check yourself, where you belong. So let's say you've checked and you're like me, you want to work in the bar. Let's use myself an example. So you have to check now. Step 2 is the preparation. Before you even to apply, now start checking online. What do they require for people who work in the bar on board? What do they require for people who work in the housekeeping? So for example, in the bar, they want you to be bubbly. Of course, you're smiling, your energy and everything like that. So it's not only the skills, but you're bringing your personality on board, okay? So once you've checked the requirements, let's say they want a high energy person, they want all those skills, depending with which department, of course, then now you go ahead and make your CV. There's some people who are making CVs for others. It's called ATS CV. So you can check also online. Somebody like Ernest Kenya, I think he makes like a CV for you at a fee. There's also several people on YouTube, TikTok. You prepare your CV. Obviously, I'm thinking by now you have a passport, because now there's no point you're talking about you're going on cruise, you're at international travel without a passport. You need to have a passport. Have your passport in your hand. Have your yellow fever. And some companies actually do require the COVID jab, so try to look around, okay? Passport, CV is ready, some of your backup papers, like I did that and I did this, most of the courses. So now you're ready to go, you're ready to apply, okay? Where do you now apply? Step number 3. Where do you apply? Most of the jobs are posted on the cruise line websites themselves, and here's where people go wrong. They see me working for MSC and they think, oh, it's only MSC. There is another person working on Princess, oh, it's only Princess. They see another person on Royal and only Royal. No, there's so many cruise lines. Like there's so many cruise lines operating at sea. Remember, the ocean is versatile. The ocean is like from India Ocean to Atlantic to Antarctica to Pacific. It's like a versatile. You can do river cruising, you can do yachts, you can do the big ships that we've been doing. So it depends, yeah, you have to check. So the website can be like Princess Careers, the legit website you have to check. Obviously you have those that are just scamming people around, so you have to check. Then you have the third party agencies, for example like V-Ships. V-Ships is also hiring for other companies, like an agency, but mostly they post online. You have cruisejobs.com, but you need to check the the domain that is real and it's not a fake one. So let's say you don't want to apply online. Let's say you're in Kenya, like me, I'm from Kenya. What do? Then you need to check the recruitment offices that are based in Kenya. But here is the point, my dear, you need to make sure it's legit, because people get scammed a lot. There are those legitimate hiring agencies are like based in Nairobi, you have some in Mombasa, so you need to check, make sure it's legitimate. Okay, so now let's say you've applied, you've sent your paperwork, your CV is looking good, they say okay, we need to give you an interview. They will interview you. Mostly what happens now, the agents will interview you on your basic skills, like do you know which department do you want to go, do you have any basic knowledge, like if it's in the bar, for example, tell us what you know about the bar. You'll talk about the drinks, some of the cocktails. Then you'll have third, fourth interview if it's like a higher of course position. If it's a lower position, mostly only 2 interviews. After the agent, you're gonna do with the ship recruiter themselves. So mostly here they're looking at the energy, they're looking at the stamina, they're looking at your attitude, positive attitude. So that's what you're bringing to the table most, because you remember you've already now given your documents, they've spoken for themselves. Sawa. So this point, you're telling them, take me because I can bring this to the table, I can bring that. You're trying to convince them. Yeah, good luck, you've passed. Now it's like, oh Sawa, we like you, we're gonna give you bartending because you have an experience, or we're gonna give you restaurant waiter because you have an experience. If you don't have an experience, they say, oh listen, we like you, but we would like you to give you a lower position. Don't say no. Listen, don't say no. That's how I got in. Yeah, you take the job, however, which rank it is. If you know yourself, you're a worker. If you know you're like a go-getter, anyway, you're gonna get in, you're gonna see an opportunity, and you're gonna move forward. All right, so you've been hired. So you're told, Charity, thank you for coming on our team, we like you. You're a bar server, you're our restaurant server, you're our housekeeping, you're a public cleaner, you're our engineer, you're all this stuff. So now we are on the point where now you start the real paperwork. This paperwork is after being hired paperwork. Now you're working on joining the ship. Okay, this way I want you to listen carefully. Listen, this is where you do first your STCW. If you didn't have it, many people do STCW before they start looking for cruise jobs. It's okay, it's another advantage. To myself, I could say this is the point now you start doing STCW. Seafarers watch course. This one you can do in Bandari, you can do in Meru, you can do, there's so many colleges offering. Here now you can do your certification to go at sea. Now you want to learn how to survive at sea. Then here is where you're gonna do your medicals. One for the STCW, because they need to check if you're fit before you jump in that water, because guys, we do jump, you have to jump, you have to do firefighting. So now they're checking how physical fit you are. After that, you're gonna do another big, we call it a big medical. This is where you check now your health. You're gonna check your eyes, ears, your body, your strength, your blood, all these kind of general medical checkups. In this point now, after they have assigned like, oh, you're good, you're healthy, because you're gonna send your medical reports, that's when they give you a contract. So remember the steps. If somebody is sending you a contract before you do all these steps, absolutely, I would say that's a scammer, because nobody's giving you a contract without ascertaining that you're good to go to work. Okay, so this is the point. Now you've given your medical, now you're like good to go. They give you a contract to sign. You sign your contract and you're like, yay, I'm good to go. So let's go through this again before we go to the last part. Remember the first part, know your department, try to research, know where you belong, check your skills, check your experience. If you have experience and you don't have paperwork, try to work on the paperwork side. If you have paperwork and you don't have the experience, try to get some experience in your department. And then the second part, we said, now prepare your documents according to the skill or the department you've chosen and the position. Okay, Work on your passport, as we said. Have some ready documents to go, especially those that don't expire, like yellow fever, some vaccinations, okay? And then obviously cruise on the browser. Go on the browser, check YouTubes, check TikToks, because many people are now shooting content working on board. Obviously check your legitimate websites, check your legitimate agents in your country, wherever you're coming from, and now start applying. When you're applying, please be consistent. Be consistent and don't apply the same job in the same company more than twice. Always, there's so many cruise lines, so you can jump, you can do, like, you can section yourself. Start from the big ships: Norwegian, Princess, Disney, whatever, MSC. Then finish that, go to the yachts. You have Ritz-Carlton, you have Emerald, you have so many Crystal. So once you're done with the yachts, go to the river cruise. You have a lot of the opportunities. And also, if you're doing a job that you think is not on board, listen again. There are so many departments. There's those people even who repair bicycles. I mean, when people are going to cycle, if you're in Antarctica, there are people working on the boat. So there's a lot of departments. Just know where you belong. All right. So now you've been hired. You're ready to go. Things that they might ask you in the interview that will not be actually part of your skills or part of your anything to do with the ship. They're just going to ask you things like, how do you get along with people, and maybe you're like, oh, me, I don't talk to people, I'm like a closer person. That's the first that's a no, because remember, on the ships you're going to share spaces. It's not like you're going to stay alone. You're going to work with teams. So when you show them that, oh, I'm good with people, I'm a good communicator, I'm a teamwork player, those are the things they want to see. So how well are you with your family? That's another question that comes up a lot. How do you get along with your family? Oh, how is your mom? They could ask you like that. You're like, I don't know, I haven't talked to her. That's a no. Try to be more positive. Oh, I'm always talking to my family. I'm in a close bond with my family, because you're going to create a family at sea. Okay. What are the challenges? Now that you're talking to travel, you're talking to enjoy, you're talking to meet guests, you're talking to make a team, what are the challenges? Some of the challenges we do face on board is we don't have an off day, so it means we work every day. Every day is Monday to us, so we work every day. Obviously, unless you're sick or unless you cannot come to work, that's a different story. If you're sick, then you're gonna be in the medical center being checked after. And another thing, obviously, you're away from family. If you're anybody close to the family like I am, then obviously it's going to be a little bit of struggle at the start. But if you can keep in touch consistently, obviously, with your family, that's a good to go. What else are we talking about? You're talking long hours of work. It's not like home where you work like 8 hours to 10 hours. Some of the shifts, especially in the back, will be up to 12 hours. So you're there constantly on your legs, you're working. So try to, work on your body for the posture so you can handle that. What else? I don't know, relationships, but that's what we're going to talk about later. There's so many things that happen at sea. Obviously, timekeeping, okay? You have to be a very good timekeeper, discipline-wise. You have to discipline yourself. But I'm thinking at this point, if you're watching this video, obviously you want to go on board, and these are the things that working at sea you have to be, a little bit disciplined. The benefits, obviously, we've talked: high income, traveling, you're going to make a lot of friends. In 6 years, I think I've made a lot of friends. You're going to see a lot of countries. If you're anybody who likes excursion like me, you're going to traverse, go enjoy yourself while in the port. If you have a good shift, please go outside, travel, see the world, enjoy yourself, because you only get that opportunity once. Anyhow, what I was saying, in short, as I close this, obviously I'm sipping. We say this is ship and share. So when we sip and share, we are sharing the things you're doing on the ship. I want you to share with your friends who maybe wants to join or have like have a wish to join on the ship. So you just want to know about general knowledge. Share with them. Let them know that it's achievable. It's nothing like unachievable. If we have done it, most of us are working on board, and some people are still joining. So can you, okay? In the next episodes, you can tell me what you want me to talk about. But in the next episode, we're going to talk about joining processes. What is it like to work on the ship, traveling, some of the destinations that I've gone to. So Peace, and remember to share your story because it matters. See you on the next episode. Hi, thank you for always following me and watching.